Hey, what's up, man? Hello. I know I was supposed to stream the Ninja Warriors once again, but I just I was very irritable yesterday. I felt it was a good call to not stream and get all pissed off. I know people understand when I get upset, but I still don't like to really don't like to televise when I'm really feeling really anxious. So I just kind of took the day off. And now I gotta do this. Let's see. It's funny how this game is this mini game here is actually weighted in your favor. When you only have a few objectives left, you notice the spaces it gives you is enough to just clear it. Like right now, this is basically a rigged board game in your favor. You notice how right now it's giving me a 1 and a 2. So as long as you have like at least one brain cell, you do a 1 and then you do a 2 and you're done. It's interesting. It doesn't tell you that it does that, but it does rig it in your favor. They don't want you to be stuck doing this for like a week or something. Like, see, it gave me a 5, so now I'm done. It's pretty cool. Interesting for a gacha game to rig things in your favor like that. It's like, yeah, we don't want you to actually be stuck doing that forever. Let's see, people, the peeps finished the rest of this. I already did my contributions. Black screen? Oh. Yeah, I turned it off yesterday. There you go. I need to reset anyway. If they actually add something to it. That's the key. I'm not a fan of the franchise, so they gotta add something I actually want. Which for that game is actual content. But they don't do that, so... They've been talking about it in my Discord, how it's been like data mined or something. Their communication is laughable at best. I guess just because it's got Luffy's new form in it, people are like excited for it, but I don't think it's gonna really amount to much. That game just doesn't have any content. It's pretty barren. Alright, hold on a sec, I gotta pull up a video.
Boss game mode?
Yeah, it's marketing. His new form is supposed to be in the anime like next month or something. So I guess that's why they're doing it. I don't watch the show, so I don't really care about that. It's gotta have something I actually care about, which is gameplay. $30 for DLC that doesn't add anything is really steep. That's a lot of money for DLC that you'll play for like a week and then stop because there's nothing else to do. It's probably more like 700 with all the filler removed. It's still a lot. It's a lot of episodes. It's more than the entirety of Dragon Ball, like all Dragon Ball series combined. Which is a lot already. With the filler removed, that's nuts. That's a lot of TV. It's more than every Kamen Rider series up through like 2011. Because they hit 1,000 episodes on Kamen Rider, what, like 2010? So not that long ago. Pretty recent. Well, they celebrated their 1,000th episode during Kamen Rider Rose, which was the 2010 season. Remember when Dragon Ball was unwatchable because it had so much filler? People don't seem to care with One Piece. They'll probably do a Dragon Ball Kai for One Piece once it's over. Easy way to make money. I'm sure they will. Would probably cut it down to like 500 episodes or something like that. That's pretty much what Dragon Ball Kai is. They cut out all the filler. What's up, man? I'm surprised they haven't done that for Bleach, because Bleach had a really long-ass filler arc that pretty much killed the show. Killed the entire franchise. They haven't done a Bleach Kai for some reason. Missed opportunity, especially with the anime for that coming back. They'll definitely do a One Piece Kai though, mark my words. They'll find a way to truncate that down to like a couple hundred episodes. It's still a pretty lofty task. They're at like almost I think 1,100 episodes of One Piece already. It's not going to be as easy as Dragon Ball, because Dragon Ball was like 300 episodes. I think they managed to cut it down to like 100 something. So it's still like watching like the entirety of like Star Trek. The Next Generation or something. It's still like a really big time investment, but I guess it's easier to digest. I don't know. I never watched it myself. People even have filler guides for Power Rangers. I don't know if you guys knew that, but there's filler guides for Power Rangers. Like the the first couple of seasons, people have made filler guides for it, like it's anime. It's like, yeah, these are the episodes you need to watch if you don't have time to watch all of them. Like, hey, just watch these ones. Of course, it's a lot easier for Power Rangers because there's like less than 10% of the episode count, but I found it pretty funny on the Power Rangers Reddit. They do that. They have like filler guides because like the first couple seasons of Power Rangers are basically anime filler. Maybe every couple like weeks there would be like something actually happening, and then the rest is kind of just really like one-off episodic stories. First season of Power Rangers is pretty much like shonen anime anyway. It's like mostly filler. There's some things that happen, but they're few and far between. It's mostly you know, the Green Ranger saga and all that stuff. It's like, yeah, unless you want to watch everything, you don't need to watch all that. It's just kind of funny for people to make a filler guide for an American live-action TV show. It's mostly for shonen anime that have a fuck ton of filler. What's up, Ib? How you doing? No, light side, One Piece is past 1,000 episodes, I think. It's around 1,000, but I think it's more than 1,000 episodes. It's been on for like 25 years. It's been on a long time. It's been on almost every week with no break since the late 90s. So that's a lot of episodes. One Piece, I don't know. I don't know what I don't know what it's on. I don't watch it. I just know it has 1 billion episodes. I think they simulcast the anime now, which is anti-piracy measure. Because when I was growing up, people would pirate anime just because it would take so long to get translated, and the fan subs would have it out like by the end of the weekend. That's one of the ways they've managed to pretty much defeat anime piracy. Just having the subs out like the same day. Cause that was not a thing when I was growing up, watching stuff like that. You would always go pirate the fan subs because they would be out like the same weekend, and then the official one would take way longer. So if you're really fiending for that stuff, you're not going to wait for them to translate it. And the fan subs already have it out. I don't watch One Piece. I have no opinion on it. I don't watch it at all. I don't really watch anime. I did when I was a teenager. I have not watched anime for like 20 years. More than that. Probably more like 22 or something. Long time. I just play video games. I watch Tokusatsu. Which is basically like shonen anime, but with actual people and like 1% of the length. So it's a lot easier to digest. It doesn't go on forever. I haven't even looked at them. Like, Ultraman is simulcast now as well. That's, another one that's... They put it up in English and Japanese at the same time, so... There's basically no Ultraman piracy anymore. They've managed to kill piracy, which is pretty funny when you look at video games and how hard they try to fight piracy, and like the core problem is that you can't fucking buy the stuff anymore, so of course people are gonna pirate it. The new Ultraman series just started a couple weeks ago, and it goes up in Japanese and English simultaneously. So there's not even a market for pirating it anymore. It's on YouTube for free. Pretty laughable, honestly. The anime and TV industry are starting to get with the times, and then like video game industry is still stuck in the 90s. Like, yeah, you don't really pirate Ultraman anymore, do you? Because it's available. You have it available legally in English the same day it comes out, so there's no point in pirating it. They've removed piracy from the equation. Heaven help you if you want to play a game that's more than 12 years old, though. You gotta open up that torrent client. Or just kind of accept that you're never gonna play it again. It's interesting how out of touch the video game industry is. They have, like, most of the Ultraman series are fully subbed in English now. They're even English dubbing the new one that just came out, Blazar. I don't know, the video game industry is making some strides, like doing worldwide releases for Pokemon is a pretty big deal. That's like the farthest they've come is Pokemon games that are released everywhere. the same time now instead of having a wait. But other than that, the video game industry is making no progress. It's like piracy has gone down so much since they started simulcasting anime, but then like the video game industry doesn't get the memo. It's like people don't want to pirate. It's just when you remove every other option, of course people are going to do it. You have a legal option that's easy, then people will do that instead. It's the same thing with Napster. Napster, all the boomer executives in suits were complaining about. It's like, it's like 13 and 14-year-old kids downloading that stuff, right? Like, they don't have any money. At best, they've got an allowance, or they're like saving up their lunch money, or they're doing odd jobs. They don't have the money to dump on like going to brand new movies and downloading albums and stuff. Like, the executives are so triggered by it, and then iTunes came out. iTunes is like, hey, you can buy this album digitally for like $10, and it pretty much killed music piracy. Music piracy is basically a thing of the past. Unless it's like a video game where, they don't make it available. It's like either you pirate it or it's lost media. It's never going to be seen again. But that's pretty rare, I'd say. I remember the whole media blitz about Napster and the piracy and stuff. It's like, well, I got stuff off Napster because there was nowhere else to get it. And I was also a 14-year-old kid in middle school. Didn't have any money to give them. Gabe Newell has put it best. You gotta stop treating piracy as lost sales. People that wouldn't buy the game anyway. Oh, thank you for the $10 donation. Yeah, that's gonna go towards lunch today. Tight times. They got air conditioning over at McDonald's, so I'll probably go there. Probably stream for like another hour before it gets too hot. Thank you. Yeah, I can get this to run on Steam Deck. I put up a video for it. Let me finish this, I'll give you the video. Yeah, I put up a guide for the settings and everything, so you can just use that, just copy it. Because I couldn't find anybody else doing the same thing, or they only played the game for like a minute. Which is the problem with the Steam Deck community, is they'll say something runs great, but then they play like the first level in the opening cutscene. And I get it, you can't expect every channel to finish every game they get requested for, but they're low-key useless. Yeah, I did like 3 videos for Muso on the Steam Deck. By the way, I was at McDonald's yesterday. I posted this in my Discord. But you can get like 6 hours of battery life playing old games on that thing. So it's better than the Switch. Like I was playing Final Fight LNS Ultimate over there and it told me with like the brightness and the Wi-Fi on, I was getting like over 6 hours of gameplay. So like I could, that was like the only thing I played there. I could stay at McDonald's for like 6 hours. Steam Deck actually has pretty good battery life. It just depends on what you try to play on it. You know, if you're only going to play like Cyberpunk and Grand Theft Auto 5, then yeah, about 2 hours is about what you can expect. But if you play smaller games or like emulators and stuff, it can actually go like over 4 hours without a charge, assuming you're at full when you leave. So everybody complains about the battery life. I'm like, it's actually pretty good. You just have to keep your expectations in check. Don't expect to play like a AAA game for like 6 hours. If you want to do that, you're either going to have to be plugged in or have a really good power bank. That's why, like, if I'm gone without a charger for a long time, I play smaller stuff. Because I could actually, like, make it through the day without charging. If I want to play something like this, it's pretty much a requirement to be plugged in. It really just depends on your taste in games and what you're trying to do with it. Yeah, the Ninja Gaiden collection works fine on Steam Deck. It's like perfect, it has no problems. Good purchase. Most of the character action games work perfect on the Steam Deck. I'd say the worst one is probably DMC5, just because it, you can't use the mods. It's like playing Skyrim. It's like playing Skyrim without mods. It's like, yeah, you know, you can play it, but it's way worse than playing on an actual computer. So, in my opinion, it's not worth playing DMC5 on Steam Deck. I think you can do it, but it takes a ton of effort. The other character action games that like don't have as many mods or they're on Unreal Engine are worth playing. It depends on the engine. It depends on how the mods are installed. Because mods for different games are installed in different ways, and the Steam Deck can have a really hard time doing it. Like Unreal Engine games, for instance, all you have to do is just put files in a folder. So, like I have modded Trials of Mana on my my Steam Deck. Steam Deck doesn't take nicely to having to load things through DLL files, so any mods like that are a real pain in the ass to install. But like Kingdom Hearts 3, for instance, you can run that on the Steam Deck, and probably like 90% of the mods will work, just because it's just putting files in a folder. modded Dragon's Dogma as well. I have that game modded on the Steam Deck because it's just replacing files. Well, most of those games are dirt cheap now. The vast majority of them work on the Steam Deck. I'd say DMC5, they marketed the Steam Deck by having that game run at like 60 FPS. It's not false advertising. It does work. It's just the mods are a nightmare to install, so very similar to Skyrim with no mods. Like, yeah, you can play it, but it's like 1,000 times worse. Is it really worth it? That's my opinion on it. That's why, like, certain games I mod, like DMC5, I don't play on the Steam Deck because it's just like not as good without the mods. Taking a break from games is pretty respectable, I would say. There's a lot of people that could use a break. Or they're not able to process that they don't like the kinds of games that they used to. I'm kind of like that with fighting games. I still play games every day, but my taste in them has changed. I used to be like heavy into fighting games, but when I moved here, I kind of got out of it a lot, just because when I moved here, we were still in the shit netcode era. So, like, yeah, I would like to play this if there was people here to play it with, but the netcode is buns. So, and I grew up in the arcades, so I'm used to having a no bullshit competitive experience. You know, you just play on the arcade cabinet and nothing ever goes wrong. At worst, maybe the buttons don't work or something, but then, you know, the tech comes out and fixes it. So transitioning to fighting games being at home was like really hard for me because it just couldn't compare. So like I don't play fighting games as hardcore as I used to. It's finally starting to get to the point where online stuff is almost as good as playing in person, for some games at least. But there was like that good like 12 years or so when they started putting fighting games online and we all thought it was a dream come true. And then the netcode is so bad that it's like barely playable. First thing I did here when I moved here in like late 2010, early 2011. First thing I did when I moved here was I bought KOF 13, and I was excited to buy it, and I did like one online match, and it was just abysmal. It was not playable. And that was like the kind of point where I'm like, you know, I still play video games, but fighting games I kind of broke up with that night. One I've played the most since then would definitely be Battle for the Grid, but that's because that game has cross-play and good online. Like, didn't matter that like nobody in town really plays it. It had a good online experience, but we still got a ways to go. It's definitely better than it was. I felt like fighting games are kind of dying around that time, just because they weren't making arcade versions anymore. The online could not replace. Online could not replace actually playing in person, face to face. We've seen a lot of progress since the pandemic. It's really only been the past couple years it's been better. The pandemic was a wake-up call for the Japanese developers, at least. Granblue Fantasy Versus and the Samurai Showdown reboot are like good examples. Those games died because of the pandemic, because they had shit netcode. As soon as we started locking down here, like, no one played those games anymore. They died really fast, pretty much overnight, because they're not playable online. Like, yeah, you know, the state mandates for our safety that we need to not meet up in person. Kind of kills fighting games with shit netcode, doesn't it? They're stillborn. They're alive, but barely. A lot of people here did play Samurai Showdown a couple months before the lockdown hit from COVID. As soon as the lockdown hit, I've never seen anybody play that game again. Instantly dead. The game is kind of a meme, honestly, because it's like it's not a standard combo-heavy fighting game. It's mostly about footsies and neutral. and like small punishes for big damage. It's not like a big combo optimization game. It's mostly about fighting game fundamentals. But ironically, when you take away the focus on combos, those games get way less playable with bad netcode. So people can adapt to shit netcode if it's like a combo-heavy game like Marvel. It's kind of funny that they tried to take fighting games back to how they used to be. Not like such a huge combo focus, but then they had garbage netcode, so it kind of didn't work. Like, I'm sure that game is great to play in person, but playing that game online was basically impossible because it required reflexes and stuff that the netcode could not let you experience, not let you do properly. Yeah, first thing I did when I moved here was I learned how to use the bus system to get to the mall, and I pre-ordered KOF 13, and I thought that that was going to be like staying into fighting games and not kind of breaking up with them. Like, no, that was pretty much the breakup game for me. The netcode, and that was awful. I did one match, and then like barely ever played it again. It's a shame, really. But now KOF has good netcode, so if you want to play it, now it's actually reasonable to do so. Instead of like either you have people to play this with in person or the game is useless. That's kind of how fighting games were 2 generations, well, pretty much up until about 4 years ago. It's mostly the Japanese developers holding fighting games back, in my opinion. It's just funny because the Japanese ones are like the most played, but I wonder what they're going to announce at EVO. There's been some rumors that there might be a new Marvel. I think it would be pretty funny if it was, because like the last attempt at doing Marvel vs. Capcom was mostly just fucked over by Disney because they couldn't put the X-Men in it, and the X-Men are like such a big part of Marvel vs. Capcom in general. But now they won't have that as an excuse, so it'll be interesting to see what they do. I really liked Marvel Infinite, actually. That was like one of the first games you could play last gen that actually had full rollback. It actually didn't feel like garbage to play. It's just everybody else stopped playing it, so I did too. I actually really liked that game. It was a lot of fun. It had its problems, sure. They probably would have patched some of that stuff out if they hadn't killed support so quickly. It's mostly just not having the X-Men and then dropping support because they basically they lied to people with that game. They said that there was going to be like a lot of seasons and stuff, and then there weren't. I'm not sure how much it would have helped though in retrospect, because the X-Men haven't been in any video game until like a couple years ago. X-Men being back in video games is like a relatively recent thing, so I think Marvel Infinite was just doomed on arrival, which is kind of sad. Like, no fault of Capcom. It's completely Disney. It's completely Disney's fault that that game turned out the way it did. I think Capcom did the best they could with what they had, but you've got the Lord Mickey Mouse dictating everything you can do with your game. It kind of makes it hard to do what you actually want with it. I'm sure they knew that not having the X-Men in it was a death sentence, but it's not really something that a developer can control. It's all the publisher's fault.
One Piece 海賊無双
Where's the cat guy? Can't find him. I have to unlock him again or something? He's not here. What gives? Nick? I had him unlocked before. What happened? Remember I put up videos of him back in the day. What the hell happened? He's like gone. Drawing a blank here. I haven't played this in a long time, sure, but I remember him being unlocked. Very strange. Maybe you have to go, like, fight him or something.
Order.
Well, I think I should probably go eat something. Thanks to the $10 donation, I actually can eat something today, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'll probably do some Ninja Warriors when I get back. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and hop off for now. My throat was kind of messed up from the acid reflux. It still kind of is, and I was like really exhausted today. I think I need more calories. But next couple days are gonna be really tight until my Patreon comes in. So I'm gonna have to rely on you guys for a while. But for now, for today, I'm covered thanks to the $10 dono. So I'm gonna go actually take care of myself for a change and eat something, and I'll come back later. I'll see you guys in a bit.